This is the second example in 2.1 day 1. We're going to talk about writing linear equations in function form. Now, most of what we do in this chapter is not going to be linear, but one reason we're doing this right now is because of function form. And so you'll notice here that it says to write an equation for the linear function satisfying the given conditions. F of 1 equals 2, f of 5 equals 7. Now, what does that all mean? We know that it's a linear function, but what we're going to do with these two pieces of information is we're going to translate those into regular points, into normal points. So before we do anything else as far as writing the equation, let's first of all look at this. Now it's f of, normally you'd have, say, f of x. So in this case, the 1 is x, and then f of x, the entire thing, represents a y value. So that's going to be the point 1, 2. And so really it's just rewriting these two as x and y, and then that's going to be 5, 7 in this case. So you're going to see that a little bit in this section just because it's making you think about function form. Now we're going to use the slope and y-intercept stuff like we have in the past. So I just want to remind you that we've got these different forms for linear equations. We've got slope-intercept. That is most likely what we want to have at the end. But then also point-slope can be helpful in the process for getting this going. So I'm going to start with point-slope and then eventually turn it into slope-intercept. So anytime you're doing that process, first thing we need is the slope. Y minus y over x minus x, so that's going to be 7 minus 2 over 5 minus 1, which is going to give me 5 over 4. Not the nicest slope to work with, but we'll be able to deal with that. Next step is let's plug it into point-slope form. So point-slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. I'm going to use the point 1, 2 up here because I feel like that's just the easier point to deal with. So that means I'm going to replace y1 with 2. So I've got y minus 2. Slope we found is 5/4. And then I'm going to replace x1 with 1. Now I can just simplify this a little bit more. Y minus 2 equals 5/4 x minus 5/4, distributing that. Now I'm going to add 2 to both sides, but that means really when we're dealing with fractions, we've got to have common denominators, so I'm really going to be adding 8/4. And so I get y equals 5/4 x plus 3/4. And that looks probably very familiar to a lot of you. That's just another run through of finding a linear equation. This is in slope-intercept form. But again, the main thing is you're getting used to these function notations here to start this process.